Let me be brutally honest with you. If you believe that being good, polite, and humble is enough to win in this world, you're living in a fantasy. Look around. The workplace, politics, business, even relationships. The most successful people aren't always the kindest. They're the most strategic, the most daring, the ones who understood one harsh truth. This world doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards power moves. Now, I'm not here to turn you into a villain. I'm here to wake you up. Because if you're someone who keeps asking, why do others move ahead while I stay stuck, even when I work harder, then Machiavelli has the slap of truth you've been avoiding. When I first read The Prince, I was shocked. His advice was cold, calculated, and dangerously honest. But I kept reading, and what I found changed my life. If you're ready to break out of that nice guy or good girl prison, then stay. But if you're just here to feel good and not actually change, then stop the video, go back to your average life, and keep wondering why no one respects you. Or you can lock the door, silence the world, and give yourself permission to transform. Because the game has rules, and Machiavelli taught them first. Let me show you how the world really works. Number 1, people judge you by results, not intentions. You could be the most thoughtful, well-meaning person in the entire organization, but the truth is, none of that matters if you don't produce results. I used to believe that sincerity was enough. I thought if I just explained how hard I was working, how much effort I was putting in behind the scenes, people would see my value. I'd write long emails justifying delays, try to make people understand my struggles, and constantly apologize for things outside my control. I thought they'd see my heart, but reality hit me like a brick wall. No one judged me by how much I cared. They judged me by what I delivered. Deadlines missed, projects incomplete, that's what they remembered. They didn't care how many late nights I pulled or how many tasks I juggled. What stuck in their minds was the outcome or lack of it. The world rarely remembers your excuses, it remembers your execution. Machiavelli once wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." It's brutally true. People see results, not your sleepless nights or pure intentions. If you fail to deliver, you'll be forgotten, or worse, replaced by someone who gets things done, even with half the effort but better timing and strategy. So here's the harsh truth. Stop expecting people to value your effort. Deliver outcomes, deliver solutions, deliver what you said you would. If you want to be seen, stop explaining and start executing. Number 2, appear virtuous but move with strategy. There's a dangerous misconception among good people that being authentic means being completely transparent, that in order to be trustworthy, you have to show everything, reveal everything, confess everything. I fell into that trap for years. I'd share my self-doubts thinking it made me relatable. I'd admit my flaws thinking it made me honest. I thought vulnerability was strength. But to the wrong people, vulnerability is just a crack to pry open. I learned the hard way that some people smile while they gather ammo to use against you later. They'd nod and agree, but later twist my words to paint me as incompetent. My good nature wasn't appreciated, it was exploited. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He warned that while it's good to appear virtuous, you should never let people see your full strategy or weakness. Appear kind, appear just, but internally, you must be calculating, strategic, and fiercely protective of your power. Kindness without boundaries is manipulation bait. Strategy without emotion is power. If you want to survive and thrive in a world that often punishes goodness, then your kindness must be a mask, and your mind, a fortress. Be the lion beneath the lamb's wool. Smile with sincerity, but never sleep with your sword down. Number 3, stop asking for permission to be powerful. There was a time when I believed power came to those who earned it patiently. Those who worked hard, followed the rules, and waited their turn. I thought if I proved my worth long enough, someone would tap me on the shoulder and say, "You're ready now. We choose you." That moment never came. I kept asking for more responsibility, more chances, more opportunities, but I was stuck because power doesn't respond to polite requests. It responds to presence, confidence, and audacity. The day everything changed for me was the day I stopped waiting. I stopped asking for permission and started behaving like a leader. I made decisions, I took initiative, I acted like the authority I wanted to become, and suddenly others began treating me that way. Machiavelli would have smirked knowingly. He knew that the world doesn't reward humility, it rewards assertion. He wrote that power must be taken, not given. Good people often fall behind because they wait for approval that never arrives. If you keep asking for permission to lead, you'll always be seen as a follower. Stop seeking validation. Start acting with conviction. Claim space, speak with clarity, lead boldly, and power will follow you, not the other way around. Number 4, master the art of timing. I used to believe that being right was all that mattered. If I had the right idea, the right proposal, the right insight, surely people would listen. But I was wrong. I learned that being right at the wrong time is no different from being wrong. I once rushed into a business opportunity. I was confident, prepared, and full of energy. But the market wasn't ready. The people weren't ready. The timing wasn't right. And so what should have been a win turned into a costly failure. That moment taught me something Machiavelli had already written hundreds of years ago. He who waits for the perfect moment will wait forever. But there's a deeper truth beneath that. Not only should you not wait too long, but you must also not strike too early. Good people often act out of enthusiasm, emotion, or idealism, but that doesn't always align with the cold precision that success demands. Timing isn't just about patience. It's about preparation, observation, and knowing when the winds are shifting in your favor. Machiavellian strategy is about reading the battlefield, not just your own plans, but the environment, the players, and the hidden agendas. Strike when the conditions are ripe, not just when your heart says go. Master timing and you'll master the battlefield. Number 5, don't be loved, be respected. This one hurts because I've lived it. I used to think that if people liked me, they'd support me. I went out of my way to be friendly, accommodating, helpful. I never said no. I avoided conflict. I thought likability would open doors. But here's what I learned. People who like you may still betray you. People who respect you rarely will. I've been betrayed by people I considered close. Smiling faces, friendly messages. But the moment it served them, they turned. I was blindsided, not because I didn't see it coming, but because I didn't believe people I had been good to could hurt me. That was my mistake. Machiavelli saw the world with unfiltered clarity. He said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." This doesn't mean being cruel. It means being clear about your power, your boundaries, and your expectations. Respect is built through strength, emotional, strategic, and intellectual. Respect says, "I will not be crossed." Love says, "I hope they won't." It's not that you can't be kind. You can. But kindness without strength breeds contempt. If you're only loved but never respected, you'll be used. If you're respected, even if not loved, you'll be obeyed, supported, and followed. So ask yourself, do people like you because you're agreeable? Or do they respect you because they know you don't tolerate games? Number 6, emotions are tools, not leaders. I used to believe that wearing my heart on my sleeve was a sign of authenticity, that showing my emotions, especially in tough times, made me brave and relatable. So I walked into boardrooms with frustration visible on my face. I'd let disappointment slip into my voice. I'd think, at least they'll know I care. But what I didn't realize was that I wasn't being seen as human. I was being seen as unstable. The truth is, the world doesn't reward emotional transparency. It rewards emotional control. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He didn't say to deny emotion, he said to dominate it. Anger, sadness, fear, excitement, they are all powerful. But if you let them run the show, you'll make decisions that serve your mood, not your mission. And in leadership, that's suicide. I've seen people lose respect because they couldn't stop themselves from reacting emotionally. I've been that person. A flash of anger in a meeting, a passive-aggressive email sent too soon. Regret always follows. Machiavelli would say, feel deeply, but act deliberately. Don't suppress your emotions. That creates a ticking time bomb. Instead, master them. Use them as tools. Let anger fuel your drive, not cloud your judgment. Let fear sharpen your instincts, not paralyze your action. The most powerful people in history didn't lack emotion. They used it like a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. If you want influence, stop reacting and start responding. Because in the game of power, emotion is fire, and you are either its master or its fuel. Number 7, Influence is a game. Learn the rules or be played. I used to think that if you just worked hard, stayed humble, and spoke honestly, people would automatically listen. I believed influence was about merit, about being deserving. So I watched as louder, slicker, more manipulative people who knew how to play others, rose faster than I did. I resented it until I realized I wasn't losing because I was too good. I was losing because I didn't understand the rules of the game. Machiavelli knew the truth. Influence doesn't belong to the most honest, it belongs to the most strategic. Influence isn't about being good, it's about being effective, about reading people like open books, knowing what they fear, what they envy, what they crave but never say aloud. He understood that human nature is driven by self-interest, and those who master that understanding can bend the world. You don't manipulate through lies. You manipulate through truths that others won't admit, even to themselves. You don't win people by being likable. You win them by being useful, by giving them a story where they win through your success. You influence by speaking to their hidden desires, not just your visible values. If you don't learn how influence works, you'll be endlessly influenced by those who have. Influence is a game, and games have rules. Learn them, or you'll always be someone else's pawn. Number 8, your reputation is your most powerful weapon. Early in my career, I thought, my work will speak for itself. I didn't worry much about what others said. I didn't correct misunderstandings. I thought if people really wanted to know me, they would take the time. That was one of the most expensive mistakes I've ever made. Because here's the truth. People don't take time to learn who you really are. They go by what they see, what they hear, and what others whisper. Your reputation isn't what you say. It's what sticks to your name when you leave the room. And once it's formed, good or bad, it spreads faster than truth and is harder to fix than failure. Machiavelli knew this well. He wrote that a ruler's reputation was as important as their army because perception is power. It can protect you before you even arrive or destroy you before you even speak. If people think you're unreliable, it doesn't matter that you're not. If people believe you're weak, it doesn't matter how strong you feel inside. What matters is what the world sees and repeats. So guard your reputation like a castle. Build it brick by brick through consistency, clarity, and calculated action. Don't let gossip go unchecked. Don't let slander spread unchallenged. If you let others define your name, you'll be locked out of rooms before you even know the doors existed. Number 9, sometimes you must get your hands dirty. This is the Machiavellian lesson that makes good people the most uncomfortable and the most liberated once they embrace it. We're taught to always be the better person. Always take the high road. Always stay clean. But in the real world, the high road is often empty, and the people taking shortcuts get there faster and take the credit. I'm not saying be cruel. I'm not saying lie or cheat. But Machiavelli understood that power and purity rarely coexist without sacrifice. Sometimes, to protect your people, your mission, your future, you will have to do the difficult thing, the unpopular thing, the thing that makes others whisper and makes history remember. There were moments when I refused to make a tough call because I didn't want to be like them. I didn't want blood on my hands. But guess what? Avoiding hard decisions doesn't make you innocent. It makes you irrelevant. Getting your hands dirty isn't about evil. It's about understanding that the world isn't clean. And sometimes to protect what's sacred, you have to walk through fire. Just make sure when you step into the mud, you know why. And you know how to come out clean. Number 10, loyalty is rare. Don't expect it easily. I gave loyalty away like candy. If you were kind to me, if you worked with me, if you made me laugh, you had my trust. I assumed that loyalty was natural, that if I stood by people, they'd stand by me. I was wrong. Loyalty is not a gift, it's a currency. And most people are only loyal to their needs, not your values. I learned this after being let down again and again by people I had backed through storms. They didn't return the favor. They didn't stay when it was inconvenient. And I realized I hadn't been betrayed. I had been naive. Machiavelli warns us, don't assume loyalty. Test it, observe it, earn it, then re-earn it. People are fluid, their allegiances shift, and in a world driven by self-interest, those who blindly give trust often end up bleeding. This doesn't mean be paranoid, it means be wise. Ask, has this person proven themselves when it was hard? Have they shown loyalty when it cost them something? And remember, your loyalty is valuable. Don't hand it out like it's free. Save it for those who would fight for you even when it's not easy to do so. Number 11. If you want to change the world, stop trying to please it. This might be the deepest scar I carry. I used to believe that change came through kindness, through approval, through acceptance. I watered myself down in rooms full of people I thought I needed. I softened my voice. I made my dreams smaller to make others comfortable. I thought fitting in was the first step to making a difference. But I was wrong. The world doesn't change through permission. It changes through disruption. Through people who dare to speak loudly when silence is safe. Through people who dare to offend, unsettle, and challenge the status quo. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise ruler must learn how not to be good." And while that sounds harsh, what he meant was this: stop trying to be acceptable. Stop trying to be palatable. Stop trying to please a world that thrives on mediocrity and punishes boldness. If you want to make impact, you have to risk being misunderstood. You have to risk being unliked, because real power doesn't come from approval. It comes from unapologetic conviction. Be kind, but don't be soft. Be moral, but don't be meek. Be a force the world cannot ignore. Not because you begged it to change, but because you made it impossible not to. You've just heard Machiavelli's hard truths. If they scared you, that's good, because real power isn't comfortable, it's earned. Now you have a choice. Forget this video. Tell yourself the world will one day reward your kindness, or lock the door, look in the mirror, and become the person who commands respect, not begs for it. Because you're not average, and if you dare to change, this world is yours to shape. If you're with me, subscribe and hit that bell. I'll keep bringing the weapons of wisdom most people are too scared to face. Now go out there and play the game better than anyone else.